Get ready to supercharge your wealth with AI. Welcome to AI Wealth Boost, where we bring you the latest and greatest in AI-powered wealth management. Subscribe now and take control of your financial future. Hey there! Are you ready to jump into the world of AI? Because we're living through an AI revolution, my friends. Just in the last few days, Stanford released Alpaca AI, an LLM, which can be trained for 600, and subsequently took it down for hallucinating too much. Adobe and Microsoft also announced their own AI image generators. And let's not forget about Copilot, which Microsoft Office introduced. But the biggest news is that Bard is now available as a public beta. That's right. Google's answer to GPT-4 is already being put to use, and it's already causing quite a stir. In fact, according to some data I just made up, my usage of Google search has declined 63.9% since GPT-4 came out last week. That's a terrifying statistic for Google, who makes most of its money from Google search ads. But here's the good news for Google. They have more data about search than anybody else. They have virtually unlimited computing power on their own custom hardware called TPUs, and a team of geniuses working on top-secret projects like quantum computers. They even declared quantum supremacy, so I have extremely high expectations for Bard. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of Bard, can we talk about the name? Apparently, it's supposed to mean Celtic storyteller. But come on, Google. You could have named it something like Neurodominus 9000 or Encephalon Prime. It should strike fear in the hearts of the Microsofties. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. I did some experiments to compare Bard to GPT-4, and the results are absolutely shocking. First, I wanted to find out if Bard could write code. So I prompted it to build me a basic to-do app with JavaScript. And amazingly, Bard gets the entire job done in just a few seconds. It takes GPT-4 at least 5 times longer to complete the same problem. That's pretty impressive, but going fast isn't very useful if you're dumb. So, I ran the code in the browser and opened the console, and immediately got an error. Basically, it's trying to add an event listener to an element that doesn't exist. Now, I know what the issue is, but I want to see if Bard can fix it. I tell Bard it's not working and paste the error message into the prompt. And it does come up with a solution using a conditional statement that would actually fix the error. But it doesn't make the application work because that element still doesn't exist. I try to nudge it in the right direction, but then it hallucinates and tells me to add an event listener to an input, which wouldn't work. I keep trying to nudge it, but then it fails catastrophically. Now, if we look at the GPT-4 response, you'll first notice how it's much more well documented. In addition, when I try to run the actual code, I get a perfect working to-do app with no errors. I ran this experiment multiple times on different demos and got similar results. So round 1 goes to GPT-4. In round 2, we'll see how creative Bard is when it comes to idea generation. I've always wanted to write a romance novel, so I prompted it for some ideas. The Bard response was pretty simple and cliché, like The Wrong Man, where a man and woman meet and fall in love. Blah, blah, blah. It's written at about an 8th grade level. GPT-4 has a lot more creative depth, like Stardust Melodies, where a small-town girl falls in love with a famous musician who's struggling with addiction. The story takes place in the 1950s, and the dialogue is really immersive and engaging. The plot twists and turns in unexpected ways, making it a much more compelling read. So, in terms of creativity, GPT-4 definitely has the upper hand. But that's not to say Bard is useless. It's still a powerful tool that can save time and effort in many areas. For example, Bard can generate high-quality product descriptions, write news articles, and even compose music. The possibilities are endless. But at the end of the day, both Bard and GPT-4 are just machines. They can't replace human creativity, emotions, or experiences. So while we're in the midst of this AI revolution, let's not forget the importance of human creativity and the human touch in everything we do. Thanks for tuning in. Let's boost your wealth with AI. Subscribe now for the ultimate edge.